Hi, my name is Mrs. Overish, and I'm so glad you're here to learn with me today. Today, we're going to be talking about animals that live in a zoo. Have you ever been to a zoo? We have the Kansas City Zoo right here in town. Have you ever visited? We're going to talk about some of the animals that you might see in the Kansas City Zoo today. We're also going to talk about the people who work there, and we're going to talk about what kind of things we might want to take if we ever visited the zoo, and maybe an animal we'd hope to see. Let's go ahead and get started. On the table, you can see that we have a bunch of different animals that we might see at the zoo. All of these animals we can see at our local Kansas City Zoo. I have the animals broken up into different groups. These groups are the different areas of the zoo. So first we have a North American section. That's where these animals originally come from. We have a flamingo, an otter, and can you tell me the name of this animal? This is an alligator. All of these animals live in the North American area, and they're in the North American region of the Kansas City Zoo. We also have an Asia section of the Kansas City Zoo. In the Asia section, you'll see lots of animals, including a panda, an orangutan, and a tiger. Then we have an Australia section in the Kansas City Zoo, where you get to see a kangaroo. The kangaroo is a really cool place to go visit because they hop around without any fences. So if you're lucky, you might see a kangaroo jumping in front of the path in front of you. We also have an Arctic section of the Kansas City Zoo. These two animals are some animals you might see in that section. We have the polar bear, and do you remember what this animal is called? This is called a penguin. The penguins at the Kansas City Zoo are inside so that they can stay cool. And then the biggest section of the Kansas City Zoo is the African section. We have a lot of different animals that we can see there. Are there any animals that you know? Are there any animals that you have seen at the zoo? We have a cheetah, a chimpanzee, a gorilla, a monkey, a zebra, an elephant, a lion, a rhinoceros, a hippopotamus, a giraffe, and a leopard. Those are all the animals that you might see when you're in the Africa section of the zoo. Do you know who takes care of all of these animals? Who feeds them? Who makes sure they stay healthy? There are people called zookeepers who take care of the animals at the zoo. We are going to draw a picture today. So if you can ask an adult to get you a piece of paper and something to draw with, we're going to draw a picture of ourselves visiting the zoo. Some things we might see there, some things that we might want to think about what we would wear, some things we would want to take with us, and maybe an animal that you would want to see while you were at the zoo. So go ahead and get your paper and something to draw with. I have my paper and markers. To draw my picture. I'm gonna first start by drawing a big archway. This archway, then I'm gonna put the word zoo on the top. This way for my picture, I know that this is kind of where I would have an entrance into the zoo. I'm gonna draw myself right here in the middle of this arch, walking into the zoo. I am drawing myself in pants and a long sleeve shirt because it's spring and sometimes it's still chilly out. So I am assuming I'm gonna want to make sure I am warm when I go to visit the zoo. I also drew myself wearing tennis shoes. Why do you think I drew myself wearing tennis shoes when going to the zoo? I drew myself wearing tennis shoes when going to the zoo because we know that we walk a lot when we go to the zoo. There is a train or a tram, but we know that we're going to be walking for most of the time when we go and visit the zoo. Over here, I'm going to draw some things that I might want to bring with me. I might want to bring a pair of sunglasses to protect my eyes if it's a sunny day. I might want to bring a hat to protect my face if it's a sunny day. I might want to bring some sunscreen. And I'm also going to draw an apple. That's because it's always good to have a snack, especially when you're walking that much. And a water. So some of the things that I might want to take with me if I went to the zoo. What are some things that you might add to your drawing of things that you think you would need if you went to the zoo? Now, the last part of my picture I'm going to draw is of an animal that I hope to see while I'm at the zoo. One of my favorite animals to see at the zoo is the flamingo. So I'm gonna draw a picture of where the flamingos are. They have a big pond, they have some bushes and some trees around, and then I'm gonna draw my flamingo coming out of the water. So we know that our flamingos have long necks. And they have wings. And I can draw one of its legs coming down and the other leg propped up because they are always standing on one leg. What's an animal that you hope to see when you go to the zoo? Maybe you want to draw a picture of a tiger. Maybe you want to draw a picture of an orangutan or a gorilla. Maybe you want to draw a picture of multiple animals because you know when you go to the zoo, you're going to see a lot of different animals. In your picture, can you draw a picture of yourself and the things that you think you would wear? Maybe some things that you think you would bring to the zoo? And then an animal that you'd like to see when you were walking around at the zoo. Today we talked about all sorts of different animals that we might see at the zoo. All of the animals that we talked about today, you can see at the Kansas City Zoo. We also talked about the things that we might want to take with us or wear, or an animal we might see if we ever went to a zoo. My name is Mrs. Overish, and I'll see you next time.